Okay, so we have very special guest with us tonight, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, Honorable Marco Mendicino. We are going to talk to him. He has recently announced a very ambitious plan, how many immigrants we are bringing into this country in next 3 years. And there are a couple of other important issues regarding to immigration, and we are going to talk to him. Minister, welcome to Pravasi Media Group, Pravasi TV, radio, all platforms.
Thank you very much for having me, Rajinder. I'm very happy to be with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Last time when we talked, you said that I have just taken over the charge. I'm settling in. I hope you are better settled now.
I am, but of course, since then, we have seen many events, including COVID-19. So yes, I'm much more comfortable now in my position as Minister for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. And as you pointed out, we've just tabled a plan that is going to be focused on jobs, on the economy, and our recovery coming out of the pandemic. And that is my single focus, is to help grow the country through immigration, something that I know that you and your viewers are very familiar with.
Minister, 400,000 immigrants in a year, very ambitious plan, and not for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. COVID-19 we have, I don't know how much you are well equipped with your staff. Are you sure you are going to bring in these many immigrants?
Well, I am very confident in our plan, and that our plan is going to create jobs. And why? Because when you look in Canada, 1 out of every 3 business owners is an immigrant. And those immigrant business owners employ over 250,000 Canadians. And that means people hardworking who are getting paid well. These are people who put food on our table. They're people who are looking after our seniors. And increasingly, these are aspiring Canadians who are helping to create the economy of tomorrow. That's what our plan is focused on.
Okay, Minister, last time when we talked, we mentioned that you were a practitioner lawyer. You knew so many things about immigration before you taken over this charge. How much they are helping you now as a minister?
Well, first of all, my professional background as a lawyer and as a federal prosecutor does help in my understanding of the legal issues. But I would say, even more importantly, as the son of an immigrant family, I relate to immigration. I think many of your viewers relate to the story of immigration. And indeed, the vast majority of Canadians have family and relatives and neighbors and co-workers who have journeyed to Canada in search of a better life. That is at the very core of our immigration policy. We are an open and an inclusive country. But we also recognize that the last year has been challenging. So we put in additional resources at the border, both in terms of public health and safety, to ensure that there is safe and orderly immigration. And I also believe that in the midst of this pandemic, that we have a very special opportunity to look at the temporary immigrants who are already within our borders. These are workers, they're international students, they're asylum seekers, and we can recognize that they are already contributing. So even though their status is temporary, their contributions to Canada will be lasting. And I believe that Canadians recognize that. And if we can invite them to become Canadians, we will be stronger for it.
Okay. So talking about family unification, you just mentioned, we have just got news that now again next year we will have a draw for the parents, grandparents category.
That's correct. And I'll just say that no government has done more in the history of the country to reunite more families. And we do that both through the Express Entry program, which allows economic immigrants to sponsor their spouses and their children, but also the Parent and Grandparent program, which is a one-of-a-kind initiative, a one-of-a-kind pathway around the world, a very popular program, as you know. And over the next 2 years, we will process 40,000 applicants, and that is the most in that time frame ever. So I'm very proud about that. I know that there is feedback about how we receive expressions of interest, but I will say that this year we allowed for a 3-week period for people to apply to be accepted into the program. We think that this has leveled the playing field for those who don't have access to the internet or whose access is not as good, and for those members of the disabled community who are not able to apply last year. So we think that on balance, this is a fairer approach to the program, but I am also open to receiving feedback after the intake process is completed this year.
Okay, another important category is the spousal sponsorship. Minister, when I announced on radio that you will be my guest tonight, they asked me, can you ask Minister where we stand on this category? Many of these spouses, they are waiting for their spouses. Are we opening them? Are we shortening the time?
Yes. Over the next few months, and before the end of the year, we are going to process 49,000 spousal applications. We've set up a dedicated team to ramp up the production and the processing of those applications, because we know that the sooner we can reunite families, the better they can help overcome this challenging period in COVID-19. In addition to that, I've announced several pathways that will reunite families, including under the extended family definition, but also for family members and others who need to come to Canada for compassionate reasons. So we've been able to announce those pathways by adding additional resources at the border, both for health and safety. And as a result of that, we will see more families, more loved ones come together, and that is a good thing.
Okay. South of the border, there were some big changes in the policies when Mr. Trump took the charge. And I think we were lucky. Many people took, Canada as their most favorite destination. But now, if Mr. Biden is coming, there will be some changes in their policies as far as H-1B visa is concerned, all those skilled people are concerned. How well Canada is prepared to attract more and more skilled people?
Well, it's not for me to comment on the United States election. There's a process that's unfolding, and as the Prime Minister has said, we'll work with whatever next administration is ultimately elected. But I will say this, I'm very proud of our country's record when it comes to immigration. And that's because we relate to immigration. It reflects who we were, who we are, and who we want to be as a country. And that's what this plan is focused on. It's focused on growth, on jobs, on recovering from the pandemic, but it also ensures that we are reuniting families and that we are demonstrating world leadership when it comes to the humanitarian space. So I will always defend Canada's record when it comes to immigration. I'm proud of it as the son of an immigrant, and I know that with the support of Canadians and with communities around the country from coast to coast to coast, we will continue to build a stronger Canada through immigration.
Okay, Minister, again coming back to this ambitious plan, you said that you are looking forward to bring in as many as immigrants in this country. But again, my last question again is that in this time of COVID-19, how confident you are? What are the ways and means you are going to adopt to attract so many people bringing in this country?
Well, it's a very good question, Rajinder, and I will say that we are very clear-eyed about the present moment that we find ourselves in, which is in the second wave of a pandemic. But I will say this, we have learned many lessons, and we are adding resources. We are leveraging technology in our immigration system, and we are showing greater flexibility when it comes to our policies so that we can be ready for that moment when we will be able to accept new immigration. But in the meantime, we have a very special opportunity to look at the temporary immigrants who are already within our borders. And this is, I think, what is directly responsive to your question. When we look at workers who are applying their skills in the health sector, in the trade sector, in the food sector, in the technology sector, they are already contributing to our response at COVID-19. These are people who are our neighbors, they are our co-workers, they are our peers, and in many cases, they are our family relatives. We have an opportunity to broaden the pathway to invite them to become Canadian. And not only will that accelerate our economic recovery, but it will help us address the long-term demographic challenges that we face as a country. We're an aging country, we need immigration to replenish our workforce, and that is at the very core of our plan. So I am optimistic that with all of the experience and the lessons we have learned, we have charted a course towards long-term prosperity and short-term economic recovery.
Okay, Minister, last thing before we go, I got another calls from some of my listeners. They're saying that their relatives are in way to come to Canada, but they are having some challenges with the biometrics. I know it's not in your hand, but in India, or particularly all those subcontinent countries, the things are not working well because of COVID-19. So what's your message for those people who are waiting there and when they will be able to come to Canada?
Well, my message is first and foremost to keep the faith. We are doing everything we can to create flexibility in our policies, including with respect to biometrics. But you're quite right. In some countries around the world, visa application centers remain closed, not because of decisions that have been taken by Canada, but because of decisions that have been taken by host countries, which we have to respect. But together, we're going to continue to work to try and create those pathways because, as I said, we want families to be reunited. We also want to be able to welcome immigration, new immigrants, new aspiring Canadians to drive our economic growth. And we will get there. It's been a very challenging year. I accept that, but we have shown that we can proceed with safe and orderly immigration, and we will build on those successes going forward. That's what this plan is focused on.
Okay, Minister, during this unprecedented time of pandemic, we are not able to celebrate our festivals as we used to, but no problem. We are still all in high spirit to celebrate these occasions. And Diwali is one of the most popular festival coming ahead on 14th of November. We wish you happy Diwali. As you said, you yourself is son of immigrants, and we all celebrate these festivals together in this country, whether it's Eid or Christmas or Diwali, we are all together.
Absolutely. And happy Diwali to you, my friend, and to your family, and to all of your viewers. I wish you the very best. This is an opportunity for us to reflect on not only the triumph of light over darkness, but on how we are going to get through this together. And Diwali is an opportunity to connect, even if we can't do it in person, to connect through technology, through platforms. And that is one of the enduring qualities of Canadians. It's what makes us strong, our diversity and who we are as a people. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to come on your show. And I look forward to seeing you in person as soon as we can.
Yes, we are eagerly waiting for you in this studio when you come here. But still then, Mr. Thank you so much for giving all this information, and talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.